Hi, welcome to another episode of Finding Out Who I Am Through the Eyes of a White Woman. Now, the Waswahili have a saying that goes like this: Kikulacho kingwani mwako. And one thing that has completely blown me away in my reading this book, the Akikuyu, with the prehistoric people, the Akikuyu of British East Africa, by Scoresby Rutledge and Catherine Rutledge, is just the sheer level of tenacity the colonizers will go to. They did everything possible to understand the people they were going to colonizing, to be colonizing, and apparently this was the norm. Employing anthropologists to study the behavior of the people before they went over and destroyed every fabric of the people that they were going to colonize. Now, this is an account of by Catherine and Scoresby, her husband, of the information gathering. So I'm still in the preface, and I'm blown away because they talk about a Mr. McGregor who actually created a dictionary of Kikuyu to English. Think about that. They actually create a dictionary of Kikuyu to English so that the settlers who are going to begin arriving, because they started in 1902, the people who start arriving will be armed with a dictionary so that they don't miss out on anything. So he just makes a quick mention, but I pick up on these things. So the subject of the language has been adequately dealt with by Mr. McGregor in his dictionary and grammar of the Kikuyu to, and I'm going to share the link of this dictionary so that people can look it up. I'm blown away by this. And if you want to know who this Mr. McGregor is, he is mentioned in the, if you like, in the gratitude section. Our most grateful thanks for help given in preparation of this book are primarily due to Mr. A.W. McGregor of the Church Missionary Society, who has resided amongst the Kikuyu since 1901. Now, I will tell you now this, because I know a lot about the Church Missionary Society, because my grandmother was very involved with them, because this is what they did. They planted themselves. There's a place called Dogoto and Kikuyu, and if you ever read my memoir, I talk about this greatly. Because my grandmother was very involved, and one of the things that this church did was, because like the women of my tribe, they used to wear ornaments on their ears, so they used to pierce their ears at certain times of their lives, so milestones, and they would wear ornaments on their ears to mark those milestones, which was like really a badge of honor, or you had gone through some kind of learning process or whatever. It's like wearing a degree on your ear, basically. And one of the things that the church did, because they thought that Africans, their customs were morally repugnant. That was their deep held belief, was that African customs were morally repugnant. So what they did was, my grandmother's brother was actually taught and employed how to stitch back the ears to erase those norms. So for as long as I knew my grandmother, her ears had been stitched back so that you couldn't literally see those milestones that she'd gone through, as well as forcing them to wear a headscarf. So I know this church very well. So this Mr. A.W. McGregor of Church Missionary Society, who resided amongst the Kikuyu since 1901, has been pivotal in creating this database of Kikuyu customs with which the colonizers are going to use and understand our customs and destroy our culture. So this is incredible. Now, they say all those wise sayings. With the Swahili saying, Kikulacho kingwani mwako, that really makes sense, because they want to be, and what that means is that what kills you or what eats you is in your garment. That's what the direct translation of that is that in order to get to somebody, you must really understand the fabric of that person. And this is literally what they're doing. So they're attacking my tribe from every angle. So there's the government, so the political side of things, and then there's the church side of things. So the church is basically there to brainwash people and erode, because they're not there to teach us about God. Because you know what? In this book, they talk about it right there. They address the fact that, and this is again is said in passing, and this is where they're just discussing the problems they encountered in information gathering, where the Kikuyu and the English terms represent the main or same idea, but with a certain difference in meanings such as Guy and God. So now Guy is who we call God, because the Agikoyo people knew God. The Agikoyo people worshipped Guy Mwenenyaga. The King of Kings is what we called him. God the Almighty, the all-seeing, the omniscient God is what we believed. And actually to this day, even though the Agikoyo people, when they go to church, when they kneel down and there's a cross and picture of Jesus, they're still worshiping Guy. Guy Mwenenyaga is what they're worshiping. And it's interesting that this information is coming from these missionary people, because when they came back, they denied that the Africans knew God. They actually called us pagans. So they lied. They got all this information and they lied that we were pagans. And of course, if they had said that the Agikoyo already know God, then their funding would be gone. And this is the thing. So they know. Also, what she also says is that, so she gives these examples of Guy and God. Guy is what we call God. And for us, God means omniscient, God of high above. He has no mother, he has no father, and he operates alone. So we are talking essentially about the same God. But they also make a distinction between Goma and spirit. So actually, we are not that far removed. But these are elements that they do not include when they write their propaganda, because they want us to seem as pagans. So that's really interesting things that I've already picked up on there. And the other people who they give their gratitude to is Dr. and Mrs. Crawford, who are doing excellent work at the Kenya Medical Mission. So they come there as doctors to heal us. They come there to heal our souls as missionaries and bring us the word of God. Yet we already know God. And then she goes on to thank Mr. Hobley. Now, this Mr. Hobley's, CMG Mr. Hobley, who has kindly aided us by his interest and advice, and has permitted us to reprint a list obtained by him of Kikuyu medicines. Bang! So they're there to take ideas. So they make a list of Kikuyu medicines. Now, I don't even have evidence about this, but I do know for sure that the collection of Kikuyu medicines, like any other African medicines or native medicines, is then shared with pharma companies who would then adopt them, modify them, and then sell it back to us. This is insanity. But this is exactly how you colonize a people. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere, because I will find out who I am through the eyes of a white woman. Take care for now. Thank you.